Alright guys, Leicester City and Brentford have just both started their new seasons with a 2-2 draw at the King Power. And yeah, Leicester will feel very disappointed, not very disappointed. They will feel very disappointed with that having been 2-0 up after 47 minutes. And if we're being honest, they probably were the better side on the day. First half, they created far more than Brentford. Brentford, in the first half, they just smacked of a team that were missing Christian Eriksen a lot. That there was in the first half, there was very little connection between the midfield and Ivan Toney up front, and Ivan Toney saw very little of the ball in the first half as a consequence. Whereas Leicester, first half, they just played quite well. It took them a bit of time to get going, but after about the 20-minute mark, they were the better side. They got the opener through Timothy Castagne from a corner, really good header. He's not the biggest player, but got up really well and produced a bullet towards the goal and, yeah, found the back of the net. And from there, Leicester looked like they were in control. They nearly got a second through Yuri Tielemans hitting the post. Really good effort. And I think a lot of what people were forgetting about Leicester going into this season when they made their predictions about the season is that they were missing a lot of players last season, and they've got them all back now. So even if they haven't signed anybody on top of what they did last season, they've got Wilfred Ndidi coming back into the team, Jamie Vardy being fully fit again. They've also got players in defence like Johnny Evans, Wesley Fofana and a few others. They've lost Kasper Schmeichel, but that's different, isn't it? It's goalkeepers. So yeah, it does make a difference, but it's not like an outfield player, I would argue. Especially for a team like Leicester, who are never really a team who are having shots peppered at them. They're usually quite a ball-dominant side, so losing their goalkeeper and having a reasonable backup come in like Danny Ward, I don't think that should be to make too much of a difference. But yeah, they were the better side and in the first half. And then second half, within 30 seconds, they were 2-0 up. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall produced a belter of a goal. He had a brilliant season last year, and today he looks like he's going to continue that into this season. Yeah, superb strike, and it wasn't really as though Brentford were fast asleep into the second half. They just it was just a well-worked move from Leicester and a cracking strike from Dewsbury-Hall. But Thomas Frankie's a good manager. He realises that something needs changing, and he made a couple of subs, bringing on Josh Da Silva, who was at Brentford last season, but missed quite a lot of the season due to injury, and also brought on Keane Lewis-Potter for his debut. A lot of people have been excited about him playing in the Premier League because of how he's been playing for Hull and also England's youth team. I think it's the under-21s he plays for. And yeah, both subs came on and had a positive impact in the sort of the direction the game was going in changed definitely. That Brentford got into it a lot more and around the hour mark, and then Ivan Toney managed to pull one back, and yeah, it was well taken goal. But the moments of the match was Josh Da Silva cutting inside on that left foot and whipping one into the far corner with about 5 or 6 minutes to go to level it. And Leicester also did hit the post in the second half as well for a Wesley Fofana header. So they were unlucky hitting the woodwork twice today, Leicester. But I think a draw probably is a fair result given how good Brentford were with in the final half an hour of the match after they made their substitutions. Brentford did try something different from what they were doing last season. Last season, they were very much a free at the backside, making use of the wing backs. However, today they lined up with a 4 at the back system with Ben Mee coming into the side alongside Pontus Jansson. So yeah, a little bit different, something we're not used to seeing Brentford play. And the three in midfield, it looked like a solid midfield with Jensen, Norgard, and Jan Els in midfield, but they just didn't have that one player like they had in Ericsson last season who could take the ball, bring it forward, and create something. Because there was a point last season after about maybe October, I think they'd just beaten West Ham away from home, which was a brilliant result, and they'd had some brilliant results at the start of last season, like the win against Arsenal on the opening day, the draw against Liverpool. But then from about October to Christmas, they were beginning to struggle and they were dropping down the table a little bit. And I feel like that was part of the problem, a lack of creativity in midfield. Because at the start of the season, they were just they were being a really physical side, and that's how they were getting a lot of their goals through the explosivity and physicality, at the in the dangerous areas of the pitch. So yeah, the signing of Keane Lewis Potter is going to be a key signing, I think. Apologies. Expect better puns in the future. Yeah. Yeah. Jon Visser and Brian Mbeumo, they struggled to get into the game in the first half, but Mbeumo produced a brilliant cross in the second half for Tony, which Tony definitely should have done better with the diving header. But yeah, they definitely got into the game more in the second half. And I think part of that could just be as well, Leicester took their foot off the gas a little bit, I thought. And they brought another striker on just before Brentford equalised, which I found a little bit strange, bringing Patson Daka on. It didn't seem to work at all, really. A strange decision, in my opinion, from Brendan Rodgers, that. But yeah, I think going into the game, with the amount of criticism Leicester have been given for how they've performed in the transfer market this summer, I think that their fans probably would have maybe taken a draw going into the game. Oh no, maybe that's a bit harsh, but like there wasn't a positive feeling around Leicester, I don't think, before the game. But I think after the first half, it would have definitely felt a lot better, and then at full time, that's back at the ground again. Whereas Brentford, the fight back in the second half, that will give them a lot of confidence going into the game next week. I think it's against Man United, who, the less said about the better. Have just lost at home to Brighton on the opening day of the season. So yeah, not a great start for Man United either. But yeah, I think both of these teams should survive, really, Leicester and Brentford, especially if Brentford can produce more performances like they did in the second half. They should be fine this season and should be safe from second season syndrome. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.